was February 2002. I was 7 years old, and when Cartoon Network went to Adult Swim, when it transitioned to Adult Swim, my older brother and I stayed up late at night, and we got to watch a certain anime. And of course, you guys know what this anime is because of the thumbnail. We got to watch Yu Hakusho for the first time. Our first episode was like episode 9, the successor to Genkai, the tournament begins. I have it written down right here, though. It was pretty interesting, though. I mean, I wasn't, like, in love with the series yet, but I thought it was more simple than Dragon Ball Z. Like, it was just more understandable. I mean, Yusuke and Baro, they were interesting, though, and I thought they were funny together. And by the way, though, that theme song, though, just before I continue with this, though, that theme song, ever since we first heard that theme song, though, it has been stuck in my head, though. Like, whenever I think of Yu Hakusho, though, the first thing I think of is that theme song, though. I mean, even as a kid, though, it's just like, this theme song is pretty cool, though. It's, like, catchy and everything, and I'll get into the music later in this review video, but, yeah. So, like, later, Yu Hakusho went from Adult Swim to Toonami, like, after school. I used to, when I was a kid, though, and I come home from school, I used to watch Yu Hakusho, though. Despite that, it wasn't enough for me to be in love with the show. So that was my first time watching Yu Hakusho. But the second time, though, was when I became really serious about Yu Hakusho, though. And what I mean by that, though, is that when I was in my later years in high school, though, I began watching anime. And then once I got into college, though, I knew that if I was going to dedicate myself to more anime, I had to rewatch Yu Hakusho, though, but not just the beginning, though. I knew I had to watch it from beginning to end, though. I had to make sure that I would complete this series as a whole, though, because my older brother does not really dedicate himself to anime that much. He's only seen like a handful, and apparently Yu Hakusho was one of them, though. Like he said, he loved the series, that he enjoyed it, though, and that he recommended it to me, so I took his word on that, though, and to this day, I don't regret it, though. I knew that it had become one of my favorite animes, though. Just recently, though, like just about over a month ago, though, I want to review Yu Hakusho, though. I need to rewatch it again, though, and just set it up for the 30th anniversary, because in 1990, that's when the manga came out, though, in like December 1990. So I thought this would be a perfect time, and here we are, though. After rewatching Yu Hakusho for the third time, I am ready to review this series and share it with you guys. Hey, frenemies of YouTube, this is Robbie speaking. Let's begin this review. This is a spoiler-free review, so don't worry about spoilers. I will not get into that much detail, though. I'll only get into the stuff that you have to know. So, Yu Hakusho is about this one kid named Yusuke Urameshi who was hit by a car in the first episode, and you guys are like, hey, you just said no spoilers. Well, that's in the description of the anime, though. And I'll continue with the description. So, after he gets hit by a car, he finds a way to come back to life. I will not say how, but he finds a way to come back to life. And when he thinks his life goes back to normal, it doesn't. He goes to become the spirit detective, though. Because it's kind of like a deal thing, like, oh, you come back to life, you become this person, the spirit detective. And when he becomes the spirit detective, he takes on these dangerous threats, though, like these supernatural threats, though. But not alone, though. He does this with 3 other teenage boys, and together they save the world, fight tournaments, and that's pretty much it, though. Like, that's pretty much what this is about, though. And you guys might be like, okay, this sounds a bit like Dragon Ball Z. Well, a bit, but only one thing. It's better. I'm not trying to, like, bash Dragon Ball Z. I think it's a great show. Like, I think it's a great franchise. But Yu Hakusho just does so many things better. More faster paced, though. It's only 112 episodes, though. There is no filler episode, though. I mean, there might have been a few moments where it was like, okay, that didn't happen in the manga, though. Especially the ending. It's like the only major complaint I have for the show, though. Yu Hakusho was created by the same guy who was working on Hunter x Hunter. You know him as Yoshiro, I think that's his first name, Takahashi. Again, names, mispronouncing names. And he is also married to the woman who created Sailor Moon. The animation, though, like, let's talk about the animation for a moment, though. The animation for its time, it's actually not bad looking though. It actually looks like, yeah, this is all we can do, because you don't have high budgets. Nobody used computer generated images and everything like that, so you have to rely more on hand drawn and everything though. And they do it so well though. The fights are well animated, the character designs look amazing. Like I said before, with Yu Hakusho being created by the same guy who's working on Hunter x Hunter, it actually looks really different from that though. It's how it should be though, like, because sometimes when you have two shows that look the same, it's hard to tell them apart though. But when you have two shows that look so different when it comes to the animation, it's how you give two shows their own identity. So now on to the characters though. Let's start off with our lead, Yusuke Urameshi. Before he got hit by a car, he was a delinquent, a punk. He used to get in fights with other kids. He used to skip school. His mother was an alcoholic and in bed a lot, so she never really raised him that much. So he raised himself. And he only had one friend, Keiko, who would also become his love interest. So Yusuke didn't really have much for him though. But after he got hit by a car and came back to life, he had something to live for though. I mean, Keiko was one of them, but he started getting more friends through being a spirit detective. And he started maturing though. Like, as the story goes along, as you watch like episode to episode to episode, you really feel like you're growing up with Yusuke though. Like, when you get to like the very ending of the series though, you really feel like Yusuke has changed from when he first was in the first episode. Yusuke is different from other shonen protagonists though. Like, he's not a goofball like Goku, or Luffy, or Natsu. And I love those characters, don't get me wrong though, but Yusuke is just different though, like the delinquent, the punk, but later matures more. I mean, Ichigo from Bleach though, I mean, he wasn't like a punk or anything like that. In fact, he had some responsibility. He was, mature a bit. But he still had a bit of an attitude though, and he wasn't the goofball. Another thing about Yusuke Urameshi though, as you can see, he's doing this though. Like, what is that? What is he doing though? That is the Spirit Gun though, his signature move. He like used this on his enemies, of course, and everything like that though. And that's another thing though too. Like Yusuke, I mean, he got into fights and stuff though, but he wasn't like strong or anything like that though. He wasn't like this overpowered warrior. But as the series goes along, like, not only does he mature, but he also becomes a lot stronger though. Which, of course, that's what shonen protagonists do. They get stronger and stronger and stronger. But Yusuke had its limits though. Like, there are times at like the beginning where he struggled a lot though, but then Yusuke really competed with his enemies though. Like, he really started like upping his game though, like especially in the Dark Tournament arc, which I don't want to get too much in the Dark Tournament arc though, but yeah. Yusuke Urameshi though, great example of a shonen protagonist though. Now onto the other three main characters, like Kurobaro though. Out of all four of the main characters though, Kurobaro though has got to be the funniest though. He has to be the comic relief though. Like, without him though, the show wouldn't be that funny though. Like, Kurobaro was once kind of a rival to Yusuke though. He appeared in the first episode as well. And they used to get into fights though, and every time they get into fights, Yusuke would win though. But they go from rivals to friends to really good friends. And Kurobaro wields the Spirit Sword. That's what this little, that's what this bright thing is though. It's the Spirit Sword though. And sometimes when it turns on though, it kind of sounds like a lightsaber though. I feel like they kind of recycled the lightsaber sound effect to his Spirit Sword. But I don't think that's a ripoff though. I don't think that's a ripoff at all though. I mean, I've seen other animes do that though, especially with Sword Art Online, but one of the four main characters is Hiei. The one who went from enemy to ally though. And when he does become an ally though, he doesn't really think of Yusuke, Karama, and Kurobaro as his friends though. He just thinks of them as like, hey, these people can help me out though. They're strong, they're beneficial, I can use these guys. So he acts like, hey, you guys are my pawns and everything though. So that way we can take on the bigger guy, the bigger enemy. So let's just do that though. It becomes more than that though. Like, Hiei is just that guy who pretends like I don't give a shit to like, I kind of do give a shit actually. I kind of do like these guys. But he doesn't express that though. Like, he's just so quiet about it though. If he were to express that, though, he would go out of character, though. Another thing about Hiei, though, is that he has the Dragon of the Darkness Flame. That's what this dragon flame is, though. It's the Dragon of the Darkness Flame, though. And wow, what a powerful attack, though. But my favorite character of the show is Karama. That's right, Karama is my favorite character, though. Yes, he is a demon like Hiei, but he's different, though. What I mean by that, though, is that he started off as like a demon incarnation, but went from that to transferring his soul to a human baby boy. And once he gets his soul in there, though, he starts bonding with his human mother. And that's when he realizes, I kind of like this life. I kind of like living the life of a human. And so he starts accepting the fact that he wants to be human, though. Despite being a demon on the inside, he wants to be human and live his life with his mother. Sadly, that's not entirely the case, though. He has to team up with Yusuke and the others in order to protect his mother and just the world. So I really feel bad when it comes to that, though, because he keeps getting dragged in these situations when he just wants to live a normal life, though. The thing about Karama, though, is that he's very welcoming, though. Like, he is the first guy that you can get along with, though. If you, like, met this guy, you would get along with him first before the other three main characters, though. Like, that's what I love about Karama, though. And another thing about Karama, though, is that he has the Rose Whip, though. It's not just an ordinary whip, though. Like, this Rose Whip, though, like, it can cut through, like, anything. Even, like, other demons and everything like that, though. Like, that thing is sick, though. Karama always will be my favorite character. Besides the main characters, there are other characters that are pretty interesting and pretty enjoyable. Like over here, this blue-haired chick, she is actually the Grim Reaper, aka Botan. She's fun to have around, she's cheerful and everything, even though she's not a strong character. She kind of lifts up the moods a bit, though. Like during the tournament, though, she was kind of like a coach to them, though. I think that's what it was, though. I think that's what her title was. And over here, you have Karama. This baby-like character, though, he is actually the prince of the spirit world. He's the one that's in charge of, like, hey, you're gonna go to heaven or you're gonna go to hell. He's also the one that kind of gives Yusuke and his team the missions and everything like that, though. He's another comic relief, though, outside of the four main characters. And you have Genkai, the mentor to Yusuke Urameshi, the one who puts Yusuke through hell during his training, though. Like, that's the way I put it, though. But at the end of the day, though, she grew to love and respect Yusuke, though, especially during the Dark Tournament arc, though. Like, that's when their relationship is fleshed out the most, though. And of course, when we talk about Yu Hakusho, though, we have to talk about the two great villains, though. Toguro right here, though. He's the younger brother. That's the elder Toguro brother, but the younger Toguro brother is more of the leader. Like, he's more of the, like, the main antagonist of the Dark Tournament arc, though. Like, he's the one villain that really pushes Yusuke the most, though. Just this guy that just wants a challenge, though. He's just like, I want to fight that guy who's gonna push me to 100%, though. And he sees that in Yusuke, though. Like, he's not this guy that's obsessed with power or anything like that. He just wants a really good fight, though. Then you have Sensui. I think that's how you, like, pronounce his name. I'm not good, again, names, but you then have Sensui, who he wants to unlock this portal, though, to, like, the demon world, to unleash it on the human race, though. He's a human that wants to get revenge by taking down the human race, though, which I find very interesting on him, though. It's not like with an X-Men where it's like mutants take down humans, though. It's a human who wants to take down the human race, though. He thinks the humans have done terrible things and everything like that, that there are humans that have done so many despicable things, though. In fact, he actually saw that, though. Again, no spoilers, but he saw something that really fucked him up for life, though. Like, he was just scarred and everything like that. Creator of Yu Hakusho was just like, hey, I created Toguro. How do I top that villain? I'll just create Sensui. And I don't really know who's the better villain, though. To me, I think I might lean towards Toguro, but Sensui's still cool, though. I still think that Sensui was just another great adversary for Yusuke. I mentioned so much on what makes Yu Hakusho so great, though. The characters, the songs, the character development, the fights, And I didn't really talk too much about the tournament arc, though. Well, mostly because of spoilers, but the tournament arc, though, all I can say is, though, it's one of the best tournament arcs ever, though. It's probably the best. I mean, My Hero Academia had a great tournament arc, don't get me wrong, though. Dragon Ball had some good tournament arcs, but this one, because there's very little rules, though. It's their battles to the death, though. Like, that's how great they are, though. And it just gets bloodier and bloodier as each fight goes along, though. Like, the struggles just keep getting higher and higher and higher. That's what I love about that tournament arc, though. Because of this, I'm gonna give Yu Hakusho a 10 out of 10. I don't think I've ever rated an anime like that before, though. I mean, the highest I've done is like 9 out of 10. It's like Inuyasha, Rama, but Yu Hakusho has very little flaws, though. Like I said before, the ending, and it has minor flaws as the story goes along, but it's not enough to hurt this experience for me, though. That's how I feel about Yu Hakusho, though. And before I end this video, I'm just gonna say this, though. I gotta continue watching Hunter x Hunter, though. I gotta finish that series because Yu Hakusho really inspired me to watch Hunter x Hunter, only this time watch Hunter x Hunter from beginning to end, though. I don't know why I stopped watching Hunter x Hunter. I guess I was just distracted, but I will give that show another shot because it deserves it. Okay, guys, that's all I have to say. What did you guys think of this, though? What did you think of Yu Hakusho? Have you seen it? Have you not? If so, are you planning on watching it? Let me know in the comments down below, though, on how you felt about Yu Hakusho, though. Thanks for watching, guys. Please make sure you subscribe, and that's all I have to say. I'm Rob A, and may the anime force be with you. This is just my outro, guys, but I'll do the spirit gun for you. Spirit gun!